This is Terrence Andre Banks with Information Age Financial Solutions, coming to you today from an article I read from SRS Rocco Report. And it's having the debate between the precious metals and buying Bitcoin. As before in my other videos, I'm not here to debate the value or making a distinction between the two. I'm just going to point out great articles and things you need to know, especially in Information Age. And this one stuck out because of course, the title alone. And I'm a fan of SRS Rock Report. If you'd ever go into the website, it's worth your time to take a look at some of the information he puts out. One of my first videos was one of the videos he talked about oil. And one thing to take in mind is that with the information age, it requires a lot of energy. And that's not really discussed enough. And Rocco really puts that into perspective as he gives the whole perspective when looking at precious metals, Bitcoin, and the economic landscape as a whole and its dependence on energy. So I'm going to read some of the excerpts from this article. Actually, I'll probably read all of it in its entirety because it just stuck out with it's full of information that's extremely valuable. So especially in this time that we live in. There's a new trend by individuals in the alternative media community who are now selling out of precious metals and buying into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. While this may sound like a good idea, especially when Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies reach new all-time highs, is likely a big mistake. Now, I'm not saying individuals shouldn't invest in cryptocurrencies. Rather, it's a lousy idea to sell all of one's precious metals holdings and put it all into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I couldn't agree any better. I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. Recently seen that Sergeant Report published a short video in which part of the headline was titled "Silver Bull Capitulates." In the video, Sean explains how past frequent guest and precious metal analyst Andy Hoffman, and Andy Hoffman is pretty big in the space. For the last year, he's been on a number of different channels. He's well known, and he's saying that here he sold out of his silver and now is only buying Bitcoin and gold. Andy explains in an interview on the Crush the Street that he sold all of his silver this summer and he really has no interest in it. And that's really surprising because silver is the foundation of most electronics today. But I can understand his position, waiting for silver to take a move, and it's really been slow and been beaten, battered down. He goes on to say, because in the digital age, I just don't believe people are going to store thousands of pounds of silver, hoping that gold-silver ratio is going to come down. I can see why he made that argument. I'd love to tell you, not only do I find this sort of thinking utterly preposterous, I also find it quite troubling that analysts who have been promoting precious metals for the past decade are now implying that gold and silver are no longer high-quality stores of value. Now, I don't believe Andy didn't say that gold is not a high source of value. He just made his argument about silver. But Steve Rocco doesn't have a point. He's expressing his position, and I could understand his point. The definition of a first-rate intelligence is seeing two opposing views and being able to still function and see both sides. So I'm taking both sides in this and seeing how both of them have very good points. Even though I'm leaning more to what's being expressed in the SRS Rocco Report, but I can understand why Andy Hoffman did sell some of his silver position, all his silver position. I don't get that. Let me clarify that. I don't get that at all. Silver it's in everything that we utilize, and I've done a number of videos. And I will always continue to buy silver, especially at these prices. It's the lowest asset you can ever have, and it has thousands of years of history. And it's utilized. Never before have it utilized as much as it's been. So let me continue on. There are several reasons why I believe it's essential to hold most of one's wealth in precious metals than in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. However, the most important factor has to do with the fragile nature of a highly technical, complex system that allows Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to function. And this one, he really expresses his point and really needs to mention the heat. It takes a tremendous amount of energy to maintain and power the internet, servers, and computer systems that give life to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. That is so true. Unfortunately, the majority of the alternative and mainstream media analysts believe in the energy tooth fairy, a term coined by Louis Arnotts. What I do mean by the energy tooth fairy is the belief by a significant portion of the public and the analyst community that the advanced world economies and markets will continue to prosper and grow forever. And with a finite world, it's not possible. He's right. Moreover, some analysts, such as Harry Dent, believe that if we get rid of the corrupt bankers and politicians and allow people to have a lot more babies, then economic growth will continue indefinitely. I'm laughing here because We only have, as the population grows, and they want more of a middle class lifestyle, they take more resource, they eat more food, and that's not possible unless we're going to have two Earths. But we're going to have to eventually cut down. But unfortunately, as a society as a whole, we like collapses more than anything else. So because we don't tend to make a decision unless there's some kind of catastrophic event, which is insanity to me, and something that's why one of the things I put in my channel as well, just constantly be aware of this, and I'll continue on rambling on. So let me go on with the article. For some odd reason, Harry Dent totally omits the impact of energy in his demographic analysis of the markets. Does old Harry not realize that the exponential increase in global oil production has coincided with exponential growth in human population? Of course not. If he did, he would stop focusing on demographics and place his attention on what is happening in the global energy industry. And I recently did a video about China looking to back oil with their future contracts because they understand the importance of oil and how oil is energy that controls our lifetime and our economy. Regardless, selling out of one precious metals holding might be unwise if we consider that the price of gold and silver are closer to their lows and Bitcoin and the cryptos are reaching new highs. Precious metals prices near lows versus Bitcoin at record highs. It does a good job of showing the chart here. For example, the current gold price at $1,280 is only 10% above its annual average low of $1,160 set in 2015, while silver at $17 is only 8% higher than its average yearly low of $15.68 during the same year. However, if we look at Bitcoin, the price is near its current high of $8,200. Now, he did this article about a couple of weeks ago, actually about a week or so ago. I'm looking at this article, it's a little dated. Gold has recently dropped down again, and silver is under $16, 16 something, I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. It just fluctuates so readily, but I know that gold is not at 1,280 right now, and neither is silver at 17. However, we can see that Bitcoin has increased more than 10 times from 800 at the beginning of 2000 to over 8,000 currently. And again, he shows these Bitcoin charts. And scroll down a little further, you can see a little more. With Bitcoin trading speculators with dollar signs in their eyes are betting on much higher prices, let me show you another chart. This is the first Bitcoin price spike that skyrockets over $1,000 in 2013. He shows here. As we can see in the chart, Bitcoin's price surged 10 times from $115 in October 2013 to $1,150 at the end of December. If we went back to this exact time, it looked like Bitcoin's price was going to continue further. However, we see what happened after Bitcoin spiked to 1,000. There was a huge consolidation period. And he shows a good idea again. Everything he does, he backs up charts with it. That's why I like his stuff. 1 year after Bitcoin hit 1,150, it was trading at $250. It took nearly 3 more years before Bitcoin surpassed its previous high. Will this happen to Bitcoin again? Who knows? Well, it has. I can't deny that. Bitcoin is, in my opinion, it's here around to stay. And I did put some videos out, and it's hard to determine because of the price and fluctuates so much, and it hasn't been through a correction yet. We haven't seen a market turn. It's just continually going up. But in the world that we live in, nothing continually goes up forever. It's also impossible to gauge the value of Bitcoin in the cryptocurrencies. I agree with that. Yes, we can see Bitcoin continue towards 10,000. It reached 10,000. However, we must realize that people are not getting into Bitcoin because they understand the potential benefits of blockchain technology. And that's worth repeating. We must realize that most people are not getting into Bitcoin because they understand the potential benefits of blockchain technology, but rather because the price is surging higher and higher. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why. It's very, I put out other cryptocurrencies looking because with the prices skyrocketing and taking that much of a gamble to buy one coin, I definitely believe the crypto space is one to look at, but there's other current coins that may give you, if you want to speculate, to give you a little bit wiggle room so you won't find yourself in a position if something drops dramatically or something government shutdowns come on or government try to put the clamps on it. Recently, Mike Maloney of goldandsilver.com stated in a video that he took some Bitcoin profits and purchased silver. He believed that it was smart to take profits from Bitcoin as it looked like it was potentially overvalued and buy silver as it was undervalued. I can't agree any further. I can't agree any more because I'm a huge silver bug and I have a bias because of just all the research I've done behind it, and it's been store of money for years and decades, just as gold has been, and it's utilized in everything. So, but I digress again. Those who sold their precious metals for Bitcoin forgot about our dire energy predicament. This is again so valid and such a good point. As I stated at the beginning of this article, individuals who believe in a new high-tech world with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies running the monetary system must have forgotten about our dire energy predicament that we are facing. This baffles me. This U.S. infrastructure is falling apart while North America suffers from over 250,000 water main breaks a year. And we're going to transition into a new high-tech world of robots and cyborgs? Who are they freaking kidding? I gotta laugh because he does get a good point here. Has anyone taken a good look at what happened to the great Egyptian, Mayan, and Roman empires? They peaked and declined, laugh out loud. And it was all based on their falling energy, EROI, energy return on investment. The more advanced and complex society becomes, the more energy it takes to run and maintain it. So true. Folks, we have run out of our cheap, abundant energy. I provided many clues in previous articles, but I believe it's a good idea to present a few charts once again. The global oil industry is cannibalizing itself just to stay alive. We know this is happening by looking at the massive increase in long-term debt. Again, love charts, great visuals, and he shows this in terms of debts and how these are the major oil companies taking on massive amounts of debt to continue to pump the oil. The global major oil companies' long-term debt quadrupled from $84 billion in 2007 to nearly $380 billion last year. Why did their long-term debt increase when they were enjoying $100 a barrel of oil from 2011 to 2014? The problem is that the falling energy return on investment is now pushing costs higher as the net energy in a barrel of oil declines. Thus, we have a double-edged sword. For example, these top 7 major oil companies enjoyed a combined net income profit of $100 billion in 2004. When the price of oil was at $38 a barrel. However, even though the price was higher at $44 last year, their combined net income fell nearly 90% to $10.5 billion. That's something, man. So the big problem now is that the world market can't really afford high oil prices, and the oil companies can't produce oil at a lower cost. Furthermore, if we take a look at this chart, we can just see how bad the situation has become for the world's major oil companies. Again, you got to look at this, and I encourage you to take a look at the article because it shows that how it's declining and the issues that they're facing. In 2004, the top 7 global oil companies enjoyed a return on capital employed, ROCE, between 20 and 40%. You must remember that the year the price of oil was $38. However, the oil price was higher at $44 last year. These companies' return ROCE fell to the low single digits. Thus, their return on capital employed collapsed. These 3 charts paint a very grim picture of the global oil industry. Without the burning of oil, our economy grinds to a halt. Let's go again, read this again. Without the burning of oil, our economy grinds to a halt. I would like to remind those who believe in wind, solar, and electric vehicles are going to save us. They are nothing more than fossil fuel derivatives. The world needs to burn a lot of oil, natural gas, and coal to produce the so-called renewable energy technologies. So when the oil and natural gas supply declines, so will the delusion of renewable energy. Now, I'm not saying it isn't wise to own solar panels on one's home or to have an electric car. Instead, it's unwise to believe solar, wind, electric vehicles in a new high-tech world is our future. It isn't. I believe we're going to experience one hell of a market crash and deflation. Not only will the oil price drop like a rock, but so will the value of most stocks, bonds, and real estate. If you sold your precious metals for cryptos at this time, you may find out that it was a big mistake. That's powerful words. That's why I'm reading this, especially in the information age, because energy in the information age is pivotal for our existence. So I would encourage you to take a look at SS Rocco report, selling out of precious metals and buying Bitcoin, a very bad idea. True fan of Bitcoin, believe it's the future. I should say blockchain technology is the future, and I believe Bitcoin has a part to play in that, as well as Ethereum, Litecoin, and some of the other ones I've probably done a video on. But again, having precious metals is definitely necessary. It's extremely important because it takes economic energy to mine these gold and silver, and particularly silver, because silver is in everything that we do. I've done a couple of videos about it, but I might probably do one or two more. Until my next video, I'm out.